Hi everybody, welcome to the video section of our Launchmetrics Support Center. Today we're going to be covering how to create multiple contacts in our contact manager using our blank contact Excel sheet. So in our previous videos that you've hopefully have seen so far, we've covered how to log in, how to navigate to the contacts module. So hopefully you know how to do that. We've also talked about creating categories and types, as well as creating a one-off single contact. But for very large lists of contacts that you do want to import into your contact manager, you're not going to be doing that one by clicking on the Create Contact button. We want to do this using an Excel. So I'm going to click on Import Contacts right here. And I'm going to download always my blank contacts template just by clicking over here. You can feel free to also click companies and download the blank companies Excel. But we see that most users are going to be putting in their company information directly on the contacts Excel. So there really isn't always too much of a need to download this company's Excel. You're going to be doing a lot of the work here in your contacts blank Excel. We always do suggest downloading a new, fresh, blank template anytime you do a new import. Fields within your system might have changed, since the last time that someone might have downloaded the Excel. So it's just not best practice to repurpose an old contact Excel. Always come in here. Again, that's import contacts. Always come in here. Go ahead and download and grab that new blank contact Excel. So we're going to click on contacts and we're going to open up that Excel. Hopefully on your local computer you will have Excel. So that's just opening up here. So this is my Excel sheet. Hopefully, perhaps though, you have been implemented by a Launchmetrics account manager and you do have some sort of idea of what all these fields mean. We're not really going to talk about what every single column does mean. We're going to fill out what's required, so what's in red, and a couple other categories. Columns. The columns that we see here, these are exactly the same columns that are found when we do create a new single contact. So it's not like that you're gaining or losing any more fields when you are working from the Excel. Department, so that's our first column. This is also the easiest column. This is just going to be the department which your contacts are going to be going into. So if you're not 100% sure what the department name is, the way that I would search for that is to go back into contacts, check out our contact manager, and I can see here that my department is locked on Launchmetrics Support Center. So I know that that's the name of my department. So I'm going to go and I'm going to type that in to this first column. And again, since I know that this is going to be the column that I use every single time, I can simply drag and drop a little bit and make my Excel work a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out a couple of names here. We'll go with Derek Blasberg, Tom Brown, Leandra Medine, Linda Fargo, and Kylie Jenner. Email address, obviously, we don't know all of their emails, so we're just going to go ahead and put in our support@Launchmetrics email address for everyone. Again, great resource. Everyone can always feel free to reach out to that email address with any questions. Our support team is standing by to help you out. Like I said, we're not going to go over what every single column here means. So if you do have any questions on what a specific column means, please feel free to reach out to our support email address. So category and types, we have talked about that in a previous Support Center video. So I definitely suggest going and viewing that video on creating contact categories and types if you're not quite sure what those mean. The categories and types that you use on the Excel are going to have to be already created within the system before you fill those out. So we're just going to go ahead and put in the categories that we would assign to these contacts. Again, a contact can only have one category, but they can have numerous types or no types. And VIP. So the types that we're going to go with, we'll go with editor for Derek Blasberg, designer, blogger, luxury, and celebrity. If I also wanted to, if I needed to assign 2 types to someone, I just use a comma, and then I type in the other type. So when I import into the system, Kylie Jenner is going to be marked as a VIP category and also a type celebrity and fashion. Contact groups, so this is one where I can just type it in, and when I do import into the system, that contact group is going to be created. So I'll go with menswear, designers. So if I did in my contact database have multiple menswear designers, that's one where I would put Tom Brown in, for example. And Kylie Jenner, let's go with a celebrity gifting contact group. So when I import into the system, those 2 contact groups are going to be created. And that's different from category and type because we've already created our categories and types in our previous Support Center videos. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to fill out the rest of this information. We'll put company info in there. Actually, so we'll go there. Tom Brown. All right, so we've got a little bit of company name information. Certainly, if you're going to be filling this out, we would suggest putting in info regarding company address and company city and state. But right now, we're just going to fill out the name of the company. So I'm going to go ahead and save that Excel. I've just saved it. And now I'm going to import it. It looks really good. Again, I definitely suggest, I always recommend if you're new to the system and you're not quite sure maybe if you did this totally right, always feel free to reach out to our support@launchmetrics.com email. We're always happy to take a look at your Excels and just make sure that you're on the right track. So now I'm going to go back to my import contacts page. I'm going to select import type contacts because I'm importing new contacts. I'm going to browse for my file. Should be this template right here. I've selected my file, and now I'm going to click on the import button. Feel free to read this through. This is really for our older clients who have seen changes in the way our exporting for update feature has worked. If you're just a first-time user and you're starting for the first time in the system, all of this that you can read here is just going to be what you're taught anyway. So this is really more for really older users who might have remembered the system working a different way. But feel free to read that through and just click on I understand and confirm. So the system is now processing my imports. I didn't have any that were skipped. 5 were imported. Now we notice that pop-up window does go away pretty quickly. So it's really important that you do keep an eye on that window and just make sure that you did see that those 5 contacts that we did were successfully imported. Our support team does see often that users maybe weren't sure if that successfully went in because they weren't maybe paying attention to that pop-up box, and then we see the teams import their contact list again, and now you have duplicate contacts, and it just becomes a little bit of a hassle. So just keep an eye on that pop-up window. If you did have any contact errors on the import, that page would pop up. This contact import errors tab would open, and this is where you'd have the opportunity to process any imports. Perhaps it's a potential duplicate, perhaps you've imported a contact that has a category or type that hadn't previously been created. The system will tell you exactly what the import error was if it was there. But in our case, all 5 went in successfully, so I'm going to go back to our contact manager, and then if I click on search, now I can see all those contacts that I just worked on in my Excel imported into the system. So a little bit, actually a lot faster than if I were to put in those contacts one by one by one. So that's how you use the importing multiple contacts via Excel using our blank contacts Excel. Definitely the best strategy for importing a large batch of new contacts into the system. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope that you stick around and keep watching the rest of the videos on contacts. Thank you.